Hello, Herndon. Welcome to the December Minutes with the Mayor. I'm Keven LeBlanc, and I'm joined by our new town manager, Dan Hoffman. Welcome to Herndon, Dan.
Thanks, Mayor.
So tell us, what's your first impression of the town and its people?
I've been really impressed with, first off, how welcoming everybody is. You know, I think as a town in the DC metropolitan area, you know, there tends to be a stereotype in some cases that it's very transient. So no, there's no connections to people. They're coming and going. I think quite the opposite is the case in Herndon. In fact, any transience that there is, it actually is strengthened by the fact that everyone is so welcoming. Whether it's, you know, at the restaurants I've visited or at some of the events we've already had, I've got nothing but warm welcomes, and that's important when you're the new guy coming in, especially as a town manager.
I mean, I like to think we're very welcoming, so I'm glad you feel that way. It certainly came up in our recent rebranding, where that was one of the top 5 pillars that came up from audience surveys.
Especially with, you know, these days, so many people from so many different places and cultures and backgrounds. The more welcoming you are of a community, you know, it definitely makes for stronger cohesion.
Yep. So you're coming from Winchester, and you've been other places. Certainly you've been around the DMV as well. What attracted you from the outside to Herndon? Why is Herndon the next right step for you and your family, both professionally and personally?
So, you know, I'm about to enter the empty nest stage of life. And, you know, my wife and I, you know, we started discussing, you know, what does that look like for us, you know, as we embark into the unknown. And we've always liked DC. You know, we've lived in the DMV area for over 20 years. And then we had, you know, a little time in Florida, then back up here to the Mid-Atlantic when we moved back to Winchester, up to Winchester. We were ready to be a little closer to where things were happening, to be honest with you. I think being close to the vibrancy of DC, being able to hop on the metro, but still being able to have a community, kind of a smaller town community feel, that was important to us. Kind of a little bit of a fountain of youth situation where you know, we want to stay active. We don't want to just, you know, sit in our house and think about the good old days. We want to go out and see shows. We want to, you know, come to town events like, you know, the tree lighting we just had or the Homes tour. You know, that's the kind of stuff we want to be able to go out and do and enjoy, you know, now that we're not saddled with kids all the time. You
mentioned both Winchester and Florida, so that was Gainesville. Having worked in those roles, what do you think, what lessons learned or things that you're going to take from there that you think might apply, and how would you apply them in Herndon?
The most important one I think of is how a community goes about building that sense of placemaking. In every locality should have its own unique identity, its own fingerprint. We are on the cusp of, I think, really starting to reimagine the downtown, as an example. It's one of the messages I, you know, heard loud and clear from council as we look at areas downtown for redevelopment, as we think about what's next. I think there's a lot of, from what I've heard so far from residents, there's a lot of energy to think about how we continue to build upon, you know, that vibrancy that you just talked about. How do you make it for people, and how do you make it welcoming, back to what we were talking about earlier? How do we create that sense of place where everyone feels welcome?
Now, some of your roles have been focused on innovation, and innovation in the public sphere, so government. And we've talked about the importance of transparency, both to me and in general to the council and governments as a whole. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that actually means to you?
So there are, a lot of times folks immediately zone right in on the technology side of it, and that's important. You know, there are definitely things we're going to be looking at to help modernize, make certain processes and town functions more readily available for everyone. At its core, though, I think it really does have to do with people. If you don't feel welcome coming to City Hall, right? If you don't feel like our staff are speaking with you genuinely, and you know, we're going to tell you the things that you need to hear, not always the things you want to hear. We're going to be straight with you. We're going to have customer service. Those types of things help, to me, open the doors. So I want to make sure the right information is available in the right forums for people in a way that they can access. And sometimes that might be through a technological advancement. Other times that might be through just the town manager coming down and sitting in your living room and having a chat about, a permit you want to do, or a community event that you're going to hold. That kind of access and openness, I think, to me, that's the root of transparency.
So we talked about community and vibrancy. So I have a very hard-hitting question next. We have a lot of pizza places. Have you discovered a favorite pizza place yet?
So on pizza, and this is a whole nother minutes with the mayor, so I'm not sure how much time we have.
Okay.
Jet Pizza.
And it's Detroit style.
Detroit style pizza. I'm a Detroit guy. I've had that. Phenomenal. Aslan might be known as a brewery, but good pizza. Good pizza. The prosciutto and fig pizza there, very tasty. Now, when the announcement first went out that I was coming to Herndon, friends of mine in the DMV area and out in Winchester came out of the woodwork and said, "You got to go to Jimmy's. Jimmy's. Have you checked out Jimmy's? Jimmy's Wings." So I've already been there. I've already lost track of the number of times I've eaten there. And I love those types of places, not only because the food's good, of course, but the community they build is very important. All of these restaurants have basically their own constituency, their own fan clubs. And if you want to get to know a town, get to know its food.
And certainly restaurants and shops and those kinds of things are really important to a community. But we also have some incredible parks and trails and natural spaces.
Absolutely.
Have you found any that you find or your go-to spots?
The fact that we have a golf course, and I also had a municipal golf course when I was in Gainesville. I'm really excited to have a golf course again.
And
I don't play
Audubon golf course.
It's an Audubon golf course. Got food. The food there is good. I think in the coming years we'll be talking about ways to improve it, give a little refresh. The building's getting a little dated,
but it's a great course.
Great course, beautiful, and boy,
well kept.
If you haven't met Mike, who runs the golf course,
we did a couple minutes ago.
The energy coming out of that guy is top notch. Really loves what he does, and Bob. Same is true for Bob, who runs the Parks Department. We have folks working for the town that really love what they do.
So I have a speed round.
Okay.
So one-word answers: coffee or tea?
Tea.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Early bird or night owl?
Sleep.
Okay. And finish this sentence: a great day in Herndon looks like.
So I use the words happy and fun a lot, and I think sometimes when we're talking about town issues, we get, they're important issues, people's lives, quality of life issues, public safety issues. But at the end of the day, I want everybody to be happy and have fun. What I like to look at is, how long does it take you to get to the grocery store, right? How long did you have to wait to find parking? Was your bicycle ride safe? The stuff like I want to understand what's going to make folks happy. Quality of life. A perfect day in Herndon is where my neighbors have the opportunity to be happy.
Great, thank you. Well, we look forward to continuing to work with you over the next many years, and I'm sure for everyone out in Herndon, you're open through scheduling. And
yes, you will see me around. If you see me, walking down the street, wave, introduce yourself. I can't guarantee I'll remember every name of the 25,000 people that are here.
You'll learn them over time.
Over time. And but no, please come up, say hello. I'm pretty much an open book. Tell me what you think, and I look forward to meeting you.
Great. Thanks so much.